Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Sam back here again for some more sort of F1 talk. And obviously, sort of going over sort of what I saw of the Bahrain Grand Prix this week. Well, the weekend just gone. I know it's sort of Wednesday, but like I say, I've been sort of busy and now I'm back. But anyway, so yeah, so very quickly, I'll just sort of go into it because I've got a little special sort of edition for you people of my top five of favourite drivers of all time, which I will be giving you in just a minute or two. So just like I say, just going overall to the sort of the Bahrain Grand Prix from what I saw, the highlight bits of bobs, the highlights. Obviously Lewis Hamilton winning, which was like I say, I suppose not a surprise to him. But he knows now he's in a fight for that sort of drivers' championship with Max Verstappen. I don't think Bottas will be anywhere near him. I just don't think he's sort of good enough. But then again, you never know. It's only the first race, and there's a long way to go. So another sort of 21 races, I think. So Lewis Hamilton winning, great race, very exciting to sort of watch a bit of it, sort of watch the last few laps, and obviously the controversial part obviously is when Verstappen overtook Hamilton, but he was off the track, so that is sort of an illegal move, and obviously he had to sort of give the place back. So fair play to Max Verstappen, because obviously he must have been frustrated, even though he'd come over the radio of Red Bull and said, why don't you just let me carry on in a way? And said, well, no, he's been told from like headquarters that you've got to let him back because it was an illegal move, because obviously he overtook him off the track. So, but yeah, so he sort of Lewis Hamilton winning, so nice start for him. But this is going to be a big fight this year. I think it's going to be a very exciting Formula, not going to say for many reasons, not just the Drivers' Championships, but for all the others as well, sort of thing, for the places and stuff and constructors and stuff. I think it's going to be so tight this year, you can't sort of well, it's just ridiculous. But anyway, so in like I say, in second place it was obviously Max Verstappen. Like I say, he's can be controversial, but then again, what drivers are not controversial when they're winners and that. But yeah, so fantastic, phenomenal drive again from Red Bull, and obviously being it's sort of a favourable track for Mercedes, Red Bull obviously could have and probably should have won, I suppose. But then again, it's it's just a sort of a debate, whatever you think, people. But yeah, so Stappen finished the second, and looking forward to the next race, which I think is, if I do believe right, I think it's the return of Imola. I think so. Good to sort of see that track back again, as obviously a sort of favourite track of mine on the console. Apologies for sort of seeing the seeing the screen. So what's just come up on the screen notification wise. So anyway, so yeah, and it's obviously in third place was Bottas. Like I said, he's always going to be there in the top five. He's a very good driver, consistent driver. Don't get enough credit for for what he's done, playing obviously, but unfortunately he's playing second fiddle to Lewis Hamilton, who obviously is probably one of the top three, top five greatest drivers of all time. So I'd say top 10 definitely, top five probably definitely I'd say as well. But yeah, that's up for debate for another time. So yeah, and just a sort of quick special mention to Sir Mr. Lando Norris. I think he was a brilliant drive from him, catching fourth place, which is he sort of said in his interview, which I just sort of watched earlier. I was sort of surprised that he got the fourth place, but fair play to him, and done really well. And it's good to see sort of McLaren carrying on where they left off, and so like I say, him and Daniel Ricciardo take McLaren to sort of higher places. But then again, I think the cars at the top are a bit too strong for some of the others at the moment. I still think Red Bull and Mercedes are the two to beat. It's tight between, personally, it's from my point of view, I think it's very tight between Ferrari and McLaren. I think Ferrari just edge it, I think, a little bit, but we'll see as the season goes on. So that is that, and that is that sort of part done and out of the way. So sort of sorry I couldn't sort of give you more of a sort of review and on all the other drivers and races and stuff and that. So because obviously I didn't really see any of it at all, because obviously I was sort of very, very busy. But anyway, so this is a little sort of special sort of video as well. Like I say, now I'm sort of returning back to sort of doing my videos. I'm going to give you my favourite top five drivers who I've watched over the years, from like the 90s and the zeros and sort of like the 10s and now the 20s, obviously. So sort of really, this is, like I say, it's not the greatest of all time. I'm just sort of going by the drivers who I've loved watching over the years. Fantastic driver sort of thing. I just, I mean, people probably would disagree with me with this top five, but then again, I think it's up for debate at the end of the day. Everyone has their, favourites and stuff. But anyway, so let's just get cracking into it. I'll just get straight into my top five of favourite drivers of mine. And like I say, please don't take offence to people because many people are going to have different outlooks on this. But anyway, so in fifth place, I've got Kimi Räikkönen. He was a fantastic. Well, he's still going in Formula One. The ever Asian, Kimi Räikkönen, 41, 42, where he is. Great to sort of see him still in Formula One, but I think this could be probably his last year. And then I think it could be the case of I personally could see Mick Schumacher in that car next season. But we shall see. But we'll see what happens anyway. But anyway, so Kimi Räikkönen, like I say, in his McLaren days, brilliant. And even in his Ferrari days, he sort of had his moments sort of thing, but unfortunately he was sort of playing sort of second fiddle to, Vettel and stuff like that. And obviously, was he sort of about Fernando Alonso? Like, I can't sort of remember every other driver lineups. I do apologise, people, but like I say, I'm sure he was with Schumacher at some Michael Schumacher. He's raced with all the greats, and obviously now with Mick Schumacher, Michael Schumacher's son, in Formula One, it's quite weird probably to be thinking, my God, I used to race your dad, so so quite sort of funny indeed. But yeah, but like I say, Kimi Räikkönen, he was brilliant. I mean, he was just a fantastic driver to watch, no fear. As I'll say, all Formula One drivers these days, obviously some of the Formula One drivers back in the day, they used to sort of hold back and stuff, but Kimi Räikkönen, fantastic driver, and he still gives it his all now, even though he's not in the best of cars. But anyway, so there we go. So that's number 5. So number 4, I've got probably one of the greatest of all time, top 3, I'd say, Michael Schumacher. Obviously, there's no controversy there, I'd imagine, with anyone. Could have been in the top 3, But then again, this is, like I say, it's a personal perspective on my favourite drivers I've watched. And like I say, it's not the greatest of all time or anything like that, because then you sort of got to go back all the way in history of all the great drivers like Jackie Stewart, like Fangio, Prost, there's millions more out there I've not mentioned. Obviously, Ayrton Senna, great driver, obviously. But like I said, I've gone Michael Schumacher. What can you say? Just a true legend of the sport, and obviously with what's going on with everything that happened with his incident and stuff, obviously I'm not going to get into that. But an absolute phenomenal driver, just so dominant, so good, and such a brilliant driver to watch. Yes, the car may have helped him a little bit, but then again, what can you say? He was in Benetton. It wasn't known as the fastest car, and he won a world championship. What can you say about the bloke? Obviously he made a sort of return to Mercedes, not in his 40s, but sort of never really sort of got anywhere, which was a shame, and it's sort of sad to sort of see. But Mercedes was sort of just building, obviously, sort of starting sort of thing, I can imagine, like I say. And obviously look where Mercedes are now. So Schumacher, some of the stuff he did over the years, obviously, what can you say? Him in the Ferrari, my God. I don't think, apart from, I'd say, probably the next person I'm going to mention in the list is just as dominant. What can you say? I'm just sort of breathless. What can you say? Sort of talking about him. He's just a great driver, and obviously, like I say, without a shadow of doubt, probably one of the top 5 drivers of all time, if not top 3. In my eyes, top 3, definitely, 100%. I think he's just that good. So anyway, so going to number 3. So we're going to go, obviously, like I just sort of mentioned very sort of quickly, if you didn't hear me what I said, Lewis Hamilton is number 3 for me. Now you probably think, well, you got 3 and 4, both sort of out, in the top 5 sort of thing, but you've got them 3rd and 4th. Because obviously they got the most world championships and that. Yes, that is true. But like I say, this is just my personal point of view of some of the drivers I've watched over the years. So like I say, I'm not going to sort of, what can you say? Just pure dominance, pure skill, great driver. Going from his, McLaren days, I can't remember what he got. Did he get a top 3 straight away? I don't know if I can't remember now in his first race. What can you say about the bloke? Look at him now, he's still going really strong. Even though this year I think he's going to be massively tested by Max Verstappen. I think this is going to be the tightest Drivers' Championship we've had in a long, long time. Probably since Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton. Oh, well, mind you saying you got the Vettel one as well, didn't you? I forgot about that for the 5th world title. So great driver, still going strong, holds loads of massive records. What can you say? You know, he's just phenomenal. Great British driver. Obviously, he's very controversial outside of Formula One, but then again, everyone is different, and you know, if everyone was the same, it'd be a boring world, wouldn't it, people? So, but yeah, so basically, like I say, there's not really much more I can say about him, to be fair. Just a truly phenomenal driver, and yeah, still going strong. I think he's what, 35, I think 36 now. I think he's a lot the same age as me, I think. So yeah, so fantastic. So long may continue Hamilton's dominance. But personal point of view, like I sort of said in sort of one of my videos previously about Formula 1, I think he will be retiring if he wins this world title. I think that'll be it. And I think he'll retire, and then George Russell will be in there next year. Who knows? Bottas might be there as well next year. Might not be. Then again, if Hamilton retires or if Bottas finishes it, what's going to happen there? We do not know. But so I'd like to see a certain driver in a Mercedes, because I think he will do very, very well, as in Pierre Gasly. But that's another video for another day. So anyway. So that is Lewis Hamilton in 3rd. So in number 2, you probably think, well, this guy's only won 2 world titles. Well, I say only. There's many, many great drivers and not even won a single world title, or not even won single races. Fernando Alonso, great driver, another great driver, and obviously returning this year back to Formula 1, to Alpine, or Alpine, whatever you want to call them. What can you say? For me, as a driver, this sounds disrespectful to some of the other drivers in the past, but as out-and-out driver speed-wise, I think he's, as a driver, for me, he's probably top, yeah, I'd say definitely top 5, definitely probably. Oh, it's hard to, I don't know, it's hard to sort of say, but this is my personal opinion. I think his top 5 drivers, like the driver. He can basically sort of drive a crap car and still get high, in other words. Let's just put it like that. So, phenomenal, brilliant driver. Nice to see him to return, but I can't see him getting anywhere with Alpine this year. I think they're just sort of not. I think they're sort of, in my eyes, from the first race, they've taken a step back. But then again, we'll just see. There's too many races to go. But anyway, so yeah, Fernando Alonso, fantastic. Renault, what can you say? Just a sheer brilliant driver. Sort of obviously not won as many races compared to sort of some of the other drivers that I have on my list, like Lewis Hamilton, and obviously the great Michael Schumacher as well. So, or should I say Sir Lewis Hamilton now? Shall I say now known as? But yeah, so fantastic driver, Fernando Alonso. I wasn't sort of fan of his back in the day, but sort of looking over in history, sort of thing, you think, well, you can't ignore the fact he's a great driver. He's just, even now in his 40s, I still think he's probably one of the best drivers on the grid. So, like I say, and that's saying something for somebody who's in his 40s. So, if you still got it, you still got it, as they're sort of saying. So, anyway, so there we go. So, going into number 1, I will mention in a minute, but just a special sort of shout out. I sort of hum and on about my top 5 of drivers who I've liked seeing over the years. Just a quick shout out to a certain Mr. Juan Pablo Montoya. I think sort of deserves a mention, as in my favourite top 5 drivers of watching them over the years. Literally just no fear. What can you say about the guy? Brilliant. Fantastic indeed. And just to show him the way his temper got in the way of his Formula 1 sort of thing, I think he could have done bigger and better things. I suppose in a way you can look at it in a way same as probably Kimi Raikkonen, sort of an underachieved driver, I suppose. But then that's sort of a debate for another day. So there we go. So that's just a quick shout out. So there we go. So very quickly going through the top 5 again, and then going to number 1, which I will mention in great detail. So number 5, I've got Kimi Raikkonen, the great for the flying Finn. And then probably one of the greatest of all time, Michael Schumacher. No doubts about that in number 4. Lewis Hamilton in number 3. So shall I say Sir Lewis Hamilton. Number 2, the great Spanish driver Fernando Alonso. Unbelievably awesome, like I said, as always. And there we go. So now going into my favourite driver, and probably you're going to be completely shocked, people, and sort of surprised and imagine. But like I said, this is going by what I've watched over the years and who I've seen. So, no, I'd say give you a clue. He's a McLaren driver, former McLaren driver. Yes, as I can probably say, yes he is. Yes he is Finnish, and you probably know who. Probably is know who it is now. Excuse me, I can't get my words out of my mouth. It is Mika Hakkinen. You probably think, wow, of all the drivers, no Lewis Hamilton, no Michael Schumacher. There's other great drivers, sort of like over the years, that have won sort of world titles and stuff. Why go Mika Hakkinen? Well, for the sheer fact that I think he's the only person that put fear and probably into Michael Schumacher. And Michael Schumacher admits himself the only person you ever, well, not frightened enough because that's a strong word, but sort of could challenge him to head-to-head battle was Mika Hakkinen. And going from what I've seen in the 90s sort of thing, and obviously, what can you say? And obviously the zeros, what I'm on about in the 90s. I can't sort of remember the era, but anyway, what can you say about the bloke? 2 times world champion, sort of very dominant, very great driver, no fear whatsoever. Another one of them sort of typical Finnish drivers, just has no fear at all. So yeah, so it's a bit of a shock, I suppose, to you people that I've picked Mika Hakkinen is probably no number 1, but I probably will do another video of a great sort of time, from what I've saw clips of like drivers of over the years, from going 70s, I suppose, and 80s, and obviously because there's great drivers over the years. Like I said, like there's too many to mention. Let's just put it at that. Like I said, I forgot to say Niki Lauda already. Obviously, fantastic and phenomenal driver. God bless his soul. So yeah, so Mika Hakkinen is in number 1 for me, as he obviously. You probably think you're a bit biased because you got literally 4 technically actually drivers that were McLaren. And I said, yeah, I know, but I'm not. I could have put Montoya in there. Who did he drive for? McLaren. I could have put loads in there, but this is my top 5 of who I've liked watching over the years. But anyway, so that will be it, people. So like I say, very quickly again. So 5 to first: Kimi Raikkonen, Michael Schumacher, Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, and Mika Hakkinen as my number 1 driver. So fantastic indeed. So like I say, hopefully sort of we'll be back for the next race and sort of trying to get my review on it of qualifying and sort of go from there. And then obviously I sort of try and give my sort of review for the race as well. But so it's been lovely sort of doing my videos again, coming back to sort of, well, doing what I love doing sort of thing, I suppose. And yeah, so but there'll be hopefully a couple of more videos sort of coming up soon. But like I say, keep alert now that I'm sort of back again. I will be the moment, as soon as I come off doing this video, I will be starting doing Slotomania videos again. So keep your ears out on YouTube for that, people. And as always, Fat Boy Size the name on YouTube. It'd be great if you greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe and obviously give me a like too. So fantastic, people. So that will be it. So it's been lovely sort of talking to you again, like I said, and it's great to sort of be back, sort of doing what I want to do and love doing. And hopefully to do sort of more different videos again in the future. So there we go. So there's my top 5 favourite drivers all time, and obviously sort of a bit of review from what I saw, bits of the Bahrain Grand Prix. But anyway, people, that will be it for today on Formula 1, and I'll be hopefully back again another times. Might come back for another top 5, or I might just sort of come back for when the next race starts. So there we go. So as always, people, it's been great pleasure doing videos for you as always, and like I say, I hope you can subscribe and like my channel, and all comments is welcome. And like I say, give me your sort of top 5 drivers as well that you've loved watching over the years. There's no age limit. You give me, whatever you think your top 5 favourite drivers are, and go from there. So thanks for watching, people, and greatly appreciated as always. So as I always say, Take care and stay safe, and I'll be back for more F1 soon. See you later, everyone. Take care and goodbye.